ask. Brandon, how old a special board meeting for the Rockcastle County Board of Education. First thing, I'm going to call it to order. The first thing on our agenda is a moment of silent prayer. Amen. Let the roll call note that we're all here in person. That kind of just surprised me for some reason. I don't know why. Item C is reading of the board team commitments. We read these, I think, Monday and Tuesday. If it's okay with everyone, I'm going to not read them tonight. Okay. Item 2 is adopt the agenda. This is a special board meeting, so we really can't add. But I need a motion to adopt the agenda.
I'll make a motion.
Okay. All in favor? Okay. Item 3 is discussion and action. A, review and approve to rescind the action taken on June 8th, 2021 regarding the amendment of the superintendent's contract term. So we had discussed Tuesday night that we would follow up about the KRS. Ms. Carey, do you want to explain?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
So I did, as you suggested, followed up with both our attorney, Ms. Teresa Combs, and then followed up with the second attorney as well. In discussing that, Ms. Combs felt like that the way that it was written would suffice, but in order to make certain that it was clear and to make certain that there was absolutely no question, that it would be easier to go back and redo this contract the way that it is on the agenda this evening. The other attorney seconded that and felt like that this would be a much cleaner way to do that, and so that's why we're meeting this evening to clean that up.
So I'm going to say this, and I don't know if I need to say this at this point in time. No, I think not right now.
Can we put the name of the other attorney on record, just so, since we're referencing?
Sure, it's Grant Chenoweth.
Chenoweth.
And we can get that in the minutes.
Yes, just so we have it in there.
Yes, absolutely.
No, we need that. We need that, yeah. So really what we're doing right now is this very first motion is just to clarify what we did, what we're going to be doing, minus what we did Tuesday night.
That's correct.
Is that a good way of putting it? Probably not proper English. Sorry, Jennifer.
Clean that up.
Do not word that the way I just did, okay? So with that being said, I need a motion to approve that action.
I'll make a motion.
Okay.
I'll second.
All in favor? Okay. Item B, review and approve to reemploy and appoint Carrie Ballinger as superintendent for a 2-year term effective July 1st, 2022 at a starting salary no lower than $112. Okay, so what this is, her existing contract is going to be, the new contract that we are starting is for July 1st of next year to last 2 years, okay? That will be with that salary of $112, which we were discussed with you on that night, okay? So that is what this particular motion is for, instead of having an extension.
Correct.
Is that correct? Okay. Okay, need a motion to approve?
Motion. I'll second.
All in favor?
No.
One negative, one nay. It would be negative, it'd be a nay, wouldn't it?
And with that no, I want to read something.
Okay,
And
please do.
and I would like it put in the minutes as far as basis. I would like to summarize some of my basis for a no vote to, and this is a quote from the agenda. Reemploy and appoint Carrie Ballinger as superintendent for a 2-year term effective July 1st, 2022. At a starting salary no lower than $112,000. I do not approve of her efforts first noted in the January 12 meeting to correct improper payments that began July 16th while she was a board member. Her efforts to correct financial improprieties that continued for 4 years and 5 months are questionable, to say the least. She was responsible, as were the remaining board members, during the time for oversight of district finances. Based on reviewing board minutes, which I have found to have been altered, which I discussed with Ms. Ballinger and some of you, Ms. Ballinger was the vice chair of the board on May the 19th, 2019. June the 11th, 2019, the minutes reflect the vice chair seat was vacant. July the 9th, 2019, Ms. Ballinger was listed as being the director of student services. May the 13th, 2020, Ms. Ballinger was approved as superintendent. In summary, Ms. Ballinger went from vice chair of the Rockcastle County Board of Education to the position of superintendent of the district in slightly less than 12 months. This was an unbelievable route to become superintendent. The board team commitments, which were developed in 1995 and supposedly have been followed since that time, include: 1, make each decision based on facts and the best for all students, and 2, operate without personal or political agendas. Based on the board minutes and the selection of Ms. Ballinger, these items were not considered/followed. She orchestrated the strategic planning process during the 2021 school year, which was definitely needed by the district. However, it has been difficult for me to comprehend how you can promote the development of core values such as trust and honesty when the previously mentioned financial actions do not support trust and honesty nor her route to the position. Transparency began in January 2021 with board meetings being broadcast live on YouTube. In addition, it appears transparency was not necessarily genuine when the board discussion with staff and the board attorney occurred in a work session. Although this was a publicized meeting, a summary of the discussion has never been shared. Considering the significance of the topics, it should have been shared. Therefore, I want to include the issues discussed in that meeting. July 2016, Superintendent Pencil and newly appointed Finance Director Jenny Sweet, who, by the way, did not meet the initial qualifications as described in 702 KAR 3:320, required to become a finance officer, began paying district administrators 9 additional days without board approval, including herself. Some, if not all, current board members were aware she did not meet the initial qualification to become a finance officer. When Ms. Ballinger began as the Director of Student Services in July of 2019, she received these improper payments that were above what was listed on the salary schedule. I discussed this issue with her and pointed out she received additional pay above the salary schedule. I asked her about what she thought and what was the conversation with Superintendent Pencil. The following year, 2020, when she began as superintendent, she did nothing to correct the issue. In addition, district administrators were hired with the salary schedule remaining the same. I further asked her, what did you tell the recipient or recipients, wherever it falls, I know at least one, of the pay which was above the salary schedule? Nothing was done to make any correction until December 2020 meeting, which occurred after the new members were elected to the board. I doubt that she discussed the issue with other board members, but that could have happened. In addition to Ms. Ballinger and Finance Officer Jenny Sweet continuing the payments, neither shared the issue with the auditor. Typically, a questionnaire is completed or an interview is conducted with board members, superintendents, and finance officers during the financial audit annually. Regardless, the improper payments were made at the direction of David Pencil and continued with Carrie Ballinger. I suggested an audit which was not received favorably by the group. The board attorney was not supportive either. This was unbelievable to me. The payment of district staff was also a portion of the conversation during the discussion of salaries and the need for significant increases for all staff due to minimal increases for many years, while district staff received the 9 additional days' pay. I was posed with the question of how I was planning to pay for it. I responded by referring to 2 terms used during my state management experience. Effective and efficient use of funds was my response. Consequently, when the salary item was on the board agenda, Ms. Ballinger quickly recommended a 3% increase. I said that was a good idea and moved for approval. The vote was unanimous. How the mindset changed from our discussion in the work session. The Office of Mike Harmon, Auditor of Public Accounts, has requested information relative to some of the items shared as my basis for a no vote. I fully expect a finding from that inquiry. Consequently, by being fully aware of these practices of Superintendent Ballinger, in addition to others, I could not, in good conscience, vote to reemploy and appoint Carrie Ballinger as superintendent for a 2-year term effective July 1st, 2022, at the starting salary no lower than $112,000. And in this, I've got a copy for the person that's taking the minutes, and I like this reflected in the minutes as my basis for a vote.
Can you make sure we get a copy of that also later?
Absolutely.
Okay, thank you.
Mr. Hammonds, are you aware that there were other staff that may have been in a position that did not possibly have a correct, certificate
When?
within the past year.
Oh, yeah, it has come to light, a person,
Were you aware? I just think
Where
Yeah,
we-
give me a specific
Prior-
spot.
I'm just asking if you were aware of a staff that was not operating under a correct certificate.
District staff?
Yes.
My understanding was.
I'm just asking for
Well,
a
I'm
yes.
answering the question,
Okay?
okay?
Because we need to treat the employees equal, and you did not bring, as much as you brought to light, that's not been brought to light. And that was not, what you just did was completely unfair
Okay,
and not equal,
okay. But what I said
unless
is,
it was personal.
what I said was true.
No, there were
No.
many facts that you just read
Well-
that were completely false.
Well,
Okay.
before we go
Well,
on a,
okay,
before we
it's-
go,
that's
wait,
that's
excuse
okay.
me, excuse
No,
me.
it's not okay. It really is not okay to read false statements in an open board meeting.
This-
It's not
What's
okay.
false?
Many things are false.
Well,
I
give me
don't know,
one.
I will give you one right now. I'm not certain why that you would discredit my character and discredit me for when I discovered that something was done incorrectly after doing an internal audit, that I immediately reported it. We have gone over this multiple times.
Absolutely, and I think.
I have contacted the Kentucky Department of Education immediately. I contacted our attorney, I contacted OEA, contacted EPSB. I have no idea how you would have suggested that be handled differently.
Well, I'll go back through it. You know, you receive payment, and every job I've ever taken, and I think most of you too, you know what you're gonna make, and if you make more than that, you would wonder about it. I find it hard to believe that anyone that's employed here during that time did not know it, including you.
I think
I
that.
have no idea what I make.
I think that is incorrect. I
Well, that
came
can be
here
a
from a
defense. I mean, that can
separate
be a-
district. I had no basis to realize that.
Mhm.
I was not employed by Rockcastle County Schools prior to being DPP.
Okay,
And my contract and the salary schedule said, and I assumed that was right. I don't go check 55 days divided by that.
okay, okay.
So I think that I do think that the statements that you just read, without being able to fact check your statements, I think that's out of line. That's
Well, I'll tell you, my comment on that would be, I find that hard to believe, and I think others would find it hard to believe too. That would be my response.
and that's an opinion, but that's not a fact.
And,
No,
That's an
and,
opinion.
but before we go any further, we're gonna put a stop to something with this. He is entitled to his opinion,
And this as well.
and he's entitled to have that added to the minutes. As far as continuing a discussion, we are not here to go back 6 months.
No,
I mean,
No.
as far as that goes, I agree with, I have some concerns about how all of that has been handled, but that is not the issue that we are here for right now.
that is
But
correct.
I would like for you to give us a copy of that, and that is to go in the minutes, and let that be duly noted that that's going to be done so, okay? But we are here, item 3B has been voted on with a 4-1 vote, so let that be done. We are now at 3C, review and approve to make an addendum to the current contract that Ms. Carey has. This addendum is changing the salary that we discussed on Tuesday night, I must say. Yeah, okay, my days have run together. I've spent too much time with you folks this week, okay? But Tuesday night, it was 105, now it's gonna be at 112. We're changing that, and that is what has been advised to us by legal counsel. So we need a vote to do so.
Motion.
Second,
A second.
all in favor? And I
No.
understand that that's nay because that goes along with your
Yes,
other vote,
yes.
yes. Item 3D, review and approve a memorandum of understanding between Rockcastle County Schools and the Unite Service Corps for the 21-22 school year. Mr. Rampart, do you have something to tell us about that?
I do. We received this, this week. It's, we have had this for the past several years. It's with the Unite Service Corps. We have 2 AmeriCorps workers that are in our schools at Brownstone and at Malvern Elementary School, and this MOU is just continuing that relationship that we have, so those folks can continue working with their schools. They work with the Unite Club, they establish the Unite Club, they work with establishing, helping with the DARE program and drug education, as well as math interventions at both of those schools.
So no changes, though, that would be of a concern to
No
us,
changes
correct?
at all. This is a continuation of something we've had in place for.
Do you know how
the
many
past
years
several
we've been doing this with Unite Bank? 20 plus? I mean, it's been a while, hasn't it?
They've been in their schools for quite some time. I'm not exactly for sure about these workers, these two workers, but
It may
Had a
know,
long-standing
Unite was here
relationship with
before Miss Nancy, Unite was here when Larry was here, wasn't it?
I
As,
mean, it's been here for years.
yeah, long
I was
time.
thinking Miss Nancy and Mr. Johnny helped get that going.
Well, I'm sure they did.
Can't remember.
Okay, we need a vote, we need a motion to vote for approval of this memorandum.
So moved.
I'll make a motion.
All in favor? And item 3E, review and approve the district literacy program adoption. Ms. Jennifer?
Okay, I'll take a minute and talk for just a little bit. This has been a month-long process. We received our SR2 funds, and we knew that there was a need in our community, and you all heard me talk when I did my SWOT analysis with instruction on the need for a comprehensive literacy program within our elementary schools. That's what we're talking about. I should have put K through 5 up there, but I didn't. This is a passion of mine, even though I was a high school English teacher, but I've worked in those elementary schools and talked to teachers and even tried to work with some little first graders last year. And I know the importance of having good quality instructional literacy materials for our students, because if you leave 3rd grade and you can't read, if you're not literate, you're not going to be successful as an adult. So the process, just real briefly, let me go through that. Back in early March, I asked the principals to select some representatives from their elementary schools and to serve as a review team, to research and to look at samples of textbooks. And we got samples from 5 different publishers. And I think in some of your documents, I have a rationale and I have the names of the teachers who served on that committee. I ordered those samples, and I think they were at the Adult Ed Center when you all had that special meeting. And teachers on those Fridays when we were on NTI days, they were able to go out and review those resources. We narrowed those 5 samples down to 2. And once we had those narrowed down, we had presentations from both of those publishers. That was Scholastic and Benchmark Advance, and we had to do it via Zoom, but all that committee was together in a room and had been reviewing those samples. Then we left, talked about it. We did Google Forms, questionnaires. They did a lot of talking and a lot of discussion. In our early discussions, it was obvious that there were some differences in philosophies among our elementary school teachers. And so when we came back together to maybe try to make a decision on which company to go with, it was a pretty long discussion, and everybody got to express their opinion, and I thought that was good. But at the end of the day, they reached consensus. And so they chose and selected Benchmark Advance, and that's a company that, it's a fairly new company, but the literacy program that they use is grounded in the science of reading, which is big deal. I mean, we know how important reading is, but it's got a heavy phonics-based component, so you have those foundational skills that those kindergarten students and those 1st grade students need that are attended to before they can move into those more complex reading skills like comprehension. Anyway, without getting into all that, I didn't want to take any time. The reason I'm coming to you is KDE is requiring that any school or district who adopts any kind of textbook or a basal program outside of the year when that's supposed to happen, it's considered off list. And it's a bunch of paperwork that I had no idea that we had to do. And I was like, please don't make us do this. So what you have is a purchasing plan. All the site-based councils at the elementary schools we've met with them. The principals have signed off on this decision on the adoption of Benchmark Advance. I just have to upload all these forms. And on the last page of that purchasing plan, there's a statement of accountability. And I've given you some notes there. There's a notification of an off-list purchase that is also included that I have to upload. But it's asking for school board chair signatures. So I thought I needed to come to you all and get you all to approve it as well. So when KDE in their wisdom, and they're wearing me out because you send them a question, it takes them 48 hours to reply. Sorry, oh Lord, we're on. I forgot about that. It's
Well,
okay.
speak about next time, they're
Yeah.
watching.
Yeah, no. I just want to make sure
You're
that we have-
retiring, so
yeah.
it don't really matter, Jennifer.
I know. That's true. I didn't think about that. Not till August 1.
It may,
Still got a
it may
little
come
bit
after
of
your
time.
retirement, though.
No, I know,
Oh, wow.
I know. That we can't order these materials until this paperwork is uploaded, and I didn't realize that. So they have to know that it's there. It's in a SharePoint site on the KDE website, and I didn't even know that it existed until 3 days ago. So we're trying to get all of this uploaded so we can go ahead and order the materials this month so they'll get here before school starts. That's the key, is making sure that those are in teachers' hands. And we've talked with teachers to try not to stress them out. We know what an awful challenging year this has been, so next year we'll have the materials, but it'll be a slow rollout, a soft rollout. We're gonna make sure that little by little they understand how this program works and that they can implement it with fidelity in their classrooms. So K through 5, there is a preschool program too. We may have to supplement that just a little bit, but the best thing is we are getting this program for 8 years at the price of 6. So we got a pretty good deal. And, you know, the gratis items and the shipping, and there are a lot of discounts that we got with that too. But you've got the price in there, and that was very reasonable compared to the other companies that we looked at. And I think I put in their budget, when we were just guessing at what we thought it might be, I put $600,000. I just thought that's how much it's gonna be. So I was pleased with the quote that we got, and the representative that we're working with has been really helpful to us. So I have more documents that I didn't upload to you all. It's like 54 pages, or 58 pages that I have to upload too. That has our rationale, a more in-depth rationale. So you all are welcome to anything. If you want to look at that sample, you'd have to go to one of the schools, because those teachers took off with those. They were ready to get those.
They got excited.
Oh yeah, yeah. And I remember that too. But every teacher will get a comprehensive list of resources and materials that'll be specifically for their classroom. So I just need you all to approve that, if you don't care.
Thank you, Miss Jennifer. We need a motion to approve this literacy program adoption.
I will make a motion. Second.
All in favor?
Yes.
All right.
I think you may have a question.
Okay, sure.
Did you say this is like a several-year agreement or contract?
Yes. Yes. And all of the consumable materials, like student workbooks,
Got it.
writings included, those will be replenished every year.
And I, you know, what you've done to get the discount, I mean, I agree with that totally. The only thing I'd ask, Ms. Ballinger, if you have, or do you, because typically contracts are for 1 year, have you consulted Ms. Combs on this? Because there's a little peculiarity with making contracts literally for more than 1 year, which districts do it, but it has to be sort of an understanding that it has to be renewed the next year. Have you talked to Ms. Combs about that?
We have not consulted her. Well, typically, like an adoption of a textbook is a 6-year cycle, so that's not uncommon.
No, I know.
And the best part is we get 846, because typically a district, if it adopts a textbook or a basal program, it's for a 6-year cycle. You don't adopt again for 6 more years.
Yes.
So that's why I don't think that's unusual.
No, that part's not. Okay.
Thank you, Ms. Jennifer. I hope everybody gets as excited about it as you have.
They have. They've been going online. It has a real strong digital component too that parents,
That's
I think,
good.
are really going to like, and an assessment program that teachers are going to enjoy too.
Yeah.
So
Keep it monitored well. That's
Yes,
awesome.
yes.
That's wonderful. All right, with that being said, number 4, I need a motion for adjournment. I know we have someone that walked in. I don't even know who's back there. Can you pull down your, oh, hi, Miss Connie, haven't seen you in a long time. Ms. Connie, I'm assuming you would like to speak. The only thing, you're not on our agenda.
Oh, no, I'm just here as an observer.
Oh, okay. I started to say, if you want to say anything, I can't, you talk all you want to, but we're getting ready
No,
to
I
adjourn.
just learned about the meeting just a little while ago.
Oh, okay. I need a motion for us to adjourn.
Can I ask one question?
Sure, ask away.
So, in the reference of the 9 days and all board members knew, with respect, I don't think that was something, was that ever voted on? Is that in the minutes? Is that,
It was not known by me, but
it wasn't known by me.
we've already hashed that out. That has been said. It should have been noted in minutes. If it was not, then,
The 9
you
days,
can
the
note
9
it
additional
now.
days.
And, just which part of what I got a copy, if you would tell me, and I'll address it.
Well, at the beginning there, when you were referencing that, I thought you said that all board members were knowledgeable of that.
Of the 9 days? No, let me
Yes.
go back. I don't think so. I don't think that's when I was referencing.
Okay, cause
Well,
I was
with
gonna
that
say, I
being
would like
said-
that,
We would like that noted that that is not accurate, but with that being said, I have a motion to adjourn. Did I have a second? All in favor?
yeah,
I'm not gonna stay here all night to hash out something, and not that I'm not concerned about it, but I have a very sick husband at home, and my time with him is more valuable to me. I think I